Pulinanandji?
Jai Satchidanand, everybody.
Okay. Three mantra. Can you do three mantra?
Yeah.
Kaushal, please follow.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Rihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Loe Sawa Sahunam.
Namo Loe Sawa Sahanam.
Eso Panchana Mukaro.
Eso Panchana Mukaro.
Sauvapavappanasano.
Sauvapavappanasano.
Manglanancha Savesim.
Manglalam Chasavesim.
Pradamam Havai Mangalam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Yes, yeah.
We have been talking about column 1, 2, 3, 4, and we ended up with column number 4. So, anybody has any experience? Something?
આપણે કદાચ કલમ 5 ની બી થોડી વાત કરી હતી એટલે we said કે
Okay.
એટલે in case someone has, that is in case someone has anything to share.
Okay.
Say 1 to 5.
Kaushal, you want to say something?
Yeah. Pulinanandji rightly said when you were talking about Kalam 5 that this is going to be a really interesting one. It was really interesting, really tough, so to speak, because speaking is so normal and natural. And what I found out was that what I may feel straightforward talk is is hurtful or seems aggressive for others. And I noticed that because I don't like to sugarcoat things. I'll just straight say things as it is. And what I've been told is that is hurtful, or people may not like it. And over the period of last week, I observed that every time I have a conversation with somebody, I try to go on their level and talk, but naturally I'll just come in my own I come in my own way and just communicate. And at times I've been told that it's harsh or disrespectful. I never understood why they felt it was disrespectful, but when I introspect, I feel that that person, I could have been a little soft, but when I'm communicating normally, it does not come that way. I am not as soft in my speech as others would like me to be. So focusing on Kalam 5 was tough for me specifically because I could observe that happening, and at times after communicating, I could, when I sit back and introspect, I'm like, okay, this could have been said differently. So that has been my experience. And every day in the morning, I do all 9 Kalams, and I specifically ask strength for Kalam 5 because that is what we were focusing on. And this is what I observed. And this is with everyone, from young ones to elders. Everyone had kind of the same thing to say in different ways.
Yeah. You see, you're right. We have heard somebody. So whether, I'm just trying to understand whether it would fall in Kalam 1 also, that you have heard someone. And Kalam 5 goes a little shade this thing that even if someone speaks in a hurtful language, give me the strength to speak in a soft language, a polite language, So you are right. You have observed that your speech has been hurtful unknowingly, based on the feedback you received, that you found that yes, it has been hurtful. I'm just trying to understand whether that hurtful language was a reaction to someone saying something, koi kathor bhasha, someone says hurtful language, and then I retaliate in the hurtful manner. Or was it the normal behavior and your language was hurtful? Just trying to draw a fine line between
Both at times. At
both.
times I was just normally, naturally speaking, and I speak straightforward, no sugarcoating. Oh, because of this is that, this is that. No, this is how it is. This is how it's supposed to happen. So let's just do it this way. And then in other scenarios, when somebody has said things that I am not comfortable with, I'll start soft, but then eventually it will go a little loud, and I'll put my point, basically.
Perfect.
Showing the other person that yes, I did not like what you said.
And that's true. I tell you, this whole journey of now Kalam, it is a wonderful journey of self-realization. That is realization of our own Prakriti, or file number 1, as to what all stuff it has brought, and bringing out the skeletons out of the cupboard type thing. So that's good. It's good that you realize. So that means it is a combination of two things: asking for Syadwad Vani Vartan Vanan, as in Kalam 1 or 2. And the fifth Kalam is a very big challenge. At times I've faced it. Sometimes, yes, someone speaks in a hurtful manner, but still I am able to not be in that same manner, remain polite. And at times I'm not able to do it. So it is a very good reason to introspect why is that happening. So if I may say, what I found was that when I have decided consciously that I will not hurt anyone, and someone retaliates, then this Kalam 5 remains. I'm aware of the Kalam 5, that I have not to speak in a hurtful manner. Even if the other person speaks in a hurtful manner, I have to speak in a soft manner and polite manner. So if it is if I recalled this Kalam or decided that I don't want to do it, then that awareness does remain during the conversation or the event. And in case it slips out, then there are chances where this error does take place. This error does take place. So just trying to understand. So what I said was that why is it that it's not happening by default? It should happen by default. Because that is what Dada Bhagwan also intended for himself. He had designed these kalams as a means of his purusharth for his completeness. Okay? And there is some reason behind that. So it is a case of investigation. What is it within me that triggers a hurtful language as a retaliation, specifically to Kalam 5? So I will request all our group members to be a little more vigilant this week, the week that follows, as to and try to investigate why is it that we have tend to retaliate, that is reply a hurtful language with a hurtful language and not in a polite manner. Try to find out what is it within us that has triggered this. Now, this will be a very useful learning for all of us. It's a group learning, and everybody has his own prakriti and own purushas. So that is one thing. And as far as your specific experience goes, it's very good. It's a journey in self-introspection, self-awareness. And the same thing applies, Kaushal, that why is it that you have spoken in a hurtful manner? Why? Why is it that seeing though we have all of us have to do? I have a servant, I have to interact with Aptaputra, Mahatmas, etc. And we'll have to speak. We'll have to speak, behave. But why is it that I'm not able to do it in a non-hurtful manner? Sometimes I'm so deeply pained within what someone else is doing that it just pops out. It just pops out, So I have to find out what is that pain point within me what is that irritant within me, which is triggering me to say in a hurtful manner. Now, it will take some time, but if we are able to discover that root cause, what is it that is causing that, and eliminate that, then this will operate in default mode. That someone says hurtful manner, never mind, I will not say in a hurtful manner. For my best interest, for my moksha marga. Now, this is a challenge here. The fifth kalam, the biggest challenge is when you are in Vyavhar, when interacting with everybody, that's he does like this, so I'll do like this. How can I take things lying down? Why I should just listen to him, whatever he says, that type of thing. If he's doing like this, I'll also do like that. So good and bad, both. If he does good, I'm good with him. If he does bad, I'm bad with him. Both ways. And a person who wants to leave the sansar, or people like us who are not like that in sansar, in that manner. We are also sansaris, of course. For them, this is not in the acceptable category. So I said, what is it that I should be looking for, and why is it that it is happening? That will throw beautiful insight, and if you're able to pinpoint that, it will go. So if I am approaching, it's a thinking that I have to do only nikar, just square off the account, and not look for right and wrong, then perhaps this kalam is easy to implement, sort of easy to implement. But if we are in worldly dealings, in office and home and relatives and friends and neighbors, at that times, that is a little challenge. That no, I have to simply square off the accounts. So this is one insight which I got, and I'm trying to fine tune that as to how the fifth column can get ingrained in me. So
Pulinanandji, I have a question. So based on what you just said, there are two things that I observed that has been happening. So if I'm dealing with either Kawan Kabir or, immediate family members, Mummy, Khushbu, anyone, right? And they say something that I don't like, or, hey, this is not how it is supposed to be. Why are we doing it? And I have said it multiple times that I don't like it. This is not the right way of doing things. They all agree to, yeah, this is not the right way of doing it. Then they still do the same thing. And then that irritates me, because some things are very small and minuscule, like, can we just take care of this one thing? And it keeps on repeating. At that point, I have observed myself going in either two ways. Either I'll speak up, and ever since we're doing Kalam 5, I'm like, okay, you know what, we don't want to do this. So then I just be quiet. I don't say anything, because I know that if I speak up, I'm going to get angry, or I'm going to get irritated, and my speech is not going to be Syadwad. So I just be quiet and say, okay, this is not how we had discussed, and I just leave it at that button. I don't say anything. So I feel like repeating myself again. So don't want to get into that pattern. So that is how I just be quiet and don't say a word, and say, you know what, okay. Technically, I'm saying I've given up on you. Do whatever you want. I've said it multiple times. With people at work who you are not that close, I do talk, and at times I'm like, okay, you know what, I understand what you're saying, and there it becomes very easy to role play. Oh, this person I have to be strict, this person I have to talk softly, because this is the only way he's going to get through. And at that point, I've observed that why I'm doing that with that person at work is because I want to get some work done from him, or he wants some work to be done from me. And I'm like, I want to finish this interaction and wrap it up. I don't want to drag this issue on, at least at work or in, with friends or anyone. So I just wrap it up there. But with immediate family members, it's like you're going to meet that person again in the morning and in the evening. So at that point, you either be quiet and don't react, or you say something, but then I don't want to, because I know how the Vani is going to come off, or even if it's not angry, then it's going to be saying softly, but then they know that that is not my normal or natural behavior. So then they'll be like, okay, yeah, this is not, you're not saying what you want or what's in your mind.
Here also the same thing I've discovered, I've found that where we can get our way now, we are carefree. At home, chalega. I can speak in Ashwan. They will not run away. They will still be with me. They will frown, but they will still be with me. I can see that. But at workplace where we don't have that choice to irritate the other person or disturb or hurt the other person, so there by force we are soft and all that. As you said, just to get the work done. I disagree, but just to get the work done, and I have no other option. If you had an option, you would have exercised that option. In the absence of an option, we are soft, you see. So this thing does happen. This thing, like in India, we say when a policeman stops at a traffic signal, then we are very polite type. But otherwise, if given a choice, we would have given him a piece of our mind. So that does happen. So here, as you said, at home, why either I speak or I don't speak. So there what happens is we although don't speak, but somewhere that dissatisfaction is there. I'm right, he or she is wrong.
100%. 100%.
So the crux is, if you really want to master that fifth column or get into that fifth column is that I am right category feeling has to be eliminated, you see. And in the process, okay, I've told them, as you just said, I've told them so many times, but still they're repeating. And that gets on my nerves or that makes me irritant, and then I speak out. Here, one other aspect of Dada Bhagwan's Purusharth could come in is doing tap. Gnan Darshan Chai, tap, tap literally is penance, but is basically accepting the discomfortable behavior or speech of someone or discomfortable situations, at the mind level, speech level, action level. So here, if we take a conscious decision of doing tap, that is accepting the things which I don't agree. So many things happen in life. It happened with Mahavir Bhagwan, happened with Dada Bhagwan, everybody, all spiritual masters. So rather than say, I keep quiet and suffer within, we should take it as a tap, that in spite of telling, he's not doing it. Chalo, it's our account. Let us handle it. Do tap. Tap means there is inner burning, and we just observe the inner burning and accept it as it is. And in that inner burning, that antartap as it is called, all these kashais or the pap, all the bad things get burnt away. So your whatever, we have done errors somewhere else. We have hurt someone else, someone done some other mistake somewhere else. And the effect, the punishment, nature's punishment comes through some other person. So when it is coming through, as you said, your home people, that in spite of repeated telling they are not doing, which does irritate me, it has to be taken as tap, as a way of nature's punishment for a wrong deed, which I have done somewhere else. Not here, but somewhere else. Where, what, I don't know, but it's there. And
so I get the first part that, okay, this is my tap. But that second part that the person is that is my hisab, and that's why I'm getting it. That part comes and goes. I see myself in tap. But the fact that this is my own hisab coming to me, that comes and goes. That, oh, I'm having the tap, that is a constant thing that I can observe. But this is because of my past mistakes, and this is why this is happening. That piece comes and goes. So at that point, when it is not there, I still see the other person as the problem.
So there you are. So we have to, repeated remind ourselves. It calls for repeated reminders. That is why we have to do Kalam, now Kalam, as specified by Dada Bhagwan, at least 3 times a day, otherwise at least once a day. So that is, we all need constant reminders, because, Bharelo Mal, what we have brought up is so high and our Purusharth is very low. So we need to do that every day till our awareness comes to that level of the intensity of the things that we have brought in, Bharelo Mal, as we call it. So that's what I discovered. That's what I discovered too, that it'll call for repeated reminders and pinpointed understanding of the cause, and the willingness to do tap. And for me to square up the accounts for my moksha, for me to liberate, these are some 2-3 mindsets or pointers which roughly I found would help me in progress or in that fifth column category, you know. And what I've observed is that a few times I do succeed when that awareness is there. Yes, kathor basa, kantil basa. And at times I found, oh, good, when someone speaks in a bad manner, and I'm forced to speak in a soft manner because, you know, where I can get away, I don't keep it. But where I cannot get away, it happens. But still, wherever I can get away, I decide not to do. And then I tell myself, good. The other person is giving you the opportunity to strengthen your fifth column. That he will speak harsh, you will know something. So it's a practice match, as you say. No? It is giving me the practice so that I can be able to follow it at places where I have the option of retaliating, but I will not retaliate. The person is subdued or down or below and things like that, and I can override that person. Still, I will not override the person. So at times it has worked, at times it has not worked. And I'm working on that as to what is it that is not working. Why is it? Where am I slipping? Jagrati comes the next second. That is not a problem at all. Moment I say like that, then the next second I'm aware, yes, this you have slipped. You should have said like this. You see? So then that corrective action, follow-up, corrective action, pratikraman and all that follows. But I'm trying to find out how that can also be the tripping part, how that can be avoided. Hence, I was asking for everybody to just keep a watch. What is it that triggering that? And maybe a collective wisdom of all of us can help all of us, you know. Okay, huh? Jai Sachin. Deepakanand.
Yes, Sachin.
Jai Sachidanand. First of all, as Dada Bhagwan has very well said, all these life situations, they are our testing situation to check our perfectness or normality or Sahajta. And speech is a wonderful marker of our progress. So as Dada used to do, he said, the moment I come into interaction, I become very watchful, and it is my resolution, all the 9 diamonds, and specifically first, second, and fifth, in relation to speech. And then whatever, and he said, I remain very vigilant. What is being spoken? Because you are not the speaker of the speech. So in that situation, as I have resolved, come what may, I have no right, I cannot cross the boundaries of Syadwad, period, whatever it is. And with this conviction and with this resolution, what happens is every time there is a slip, then there is an analysis that goes on behind after that situation, that we have so many preconceived notions. We have made up our mind. That is our relative self. We have come with those bunch of beliefs and decisions that this is what I will do, this is how I will say, this is what I will say. And that is the reason when you are with your boss, you talk differently. When you are at home, Kaushal talks differently. When he's with friends, he talks differently. So all these behind the curtain beliefs are there, which moderates, not moderates, I would say that how Kaushal speaks or his speech comes out. With all those things, they will pop up when you are in that situation. I believe we should not get driven away by what is being spoken, but why does it get, why does our name bearer speaks like that? One thing is that it is tape record, no doubt. There's no doubt. So we cannot do anything about it in a way. But what we can do is have a very sharp form, sound vigilance, what is being spoken. And while it is being spoken, we know also the intent behind what is being spoken. So we get that opportunity to observe ourselves where exactly we are going wrong and where is the flaw. And when those get corrected, those things get connected, naturally that speech that would come out will be normal, natural Syadwad. But one thing is there, the first two kalams, we are asking for Syadwad Vani. And the fifth kalam is telling us how will you get that. So two aspects are very common. When things are not happening our way, we want to force things happen our way. So our voice level goes up very harsh, and other places where we cannot do anything. In the sense, very commonly we can say like, someone is progressing, someone is ahead of me, someone is doing better than me. Then, I am not able to appreciate the good part of his performance. But I will try to find out his flaws or her flaws and try to project them. So it's like there is going to be a factor of tant, that is continuation of what had happened in the past, the wrong thing that happened, and I'll keep highlighting that. Oh, Pulinanandji is like this, like that. Or whatever, everything is fine, but he's been doing like this, he's been doing like that, and all that, which goes on in our mind. I may have opportunity to express or not, but that keeps biting me, that keeps going on within me, and my goal of Syadwad, the boundary is broken. So Dada, as he has said, we have rigorously passed through this Purusharth, this very sincere effort to be vigilant, and every small aspect, however minor it is, if it crosses the boundaries of Syadwad, then he said he never missed that opportunity of correcting himself. And he had very well done that, and that was the reason he said that our speech has become almost like Syadwad as of Tirthankar Bhagwan. So we have this marker, very important marker, and keeping that in mind, and if you see, it is said in the fifth kalam that if someone says harsh language, then I will speak softly. That is our decision how to get away with that harshness. And those with whom I am competitive, who I have competition. And for that person, I will always cross these boundaries, because I'll try to reiterate what that person's weakness is and continue with that. So then I'll remain straightforward. Many times what happens, if let's say if your son says something, then whatever he had done in the past, some mistakes, that will become as a very important factor of your dealing with him now. He also gets confused. Why dad is acting like this? But your thing is, you are under that influence of the past mishappening, and that is getting expressed here now. Because now you might have come with a different notion, with a different idea, with a different intention. But the past thing just continues even now. So I have noticed very carefully that this thing happens very often. And so the best part is correct. Don't look at the past, present, future. But if you have crossed the boundaries of Syadwad now, correct it now and here itself, and then analyze what was the thing that went on in the background which contributed to this kind of verbal interaction. And gradually you will find that our conviction becomes so strong and firm, and our resolution that no matter what, whether I'm right or wrong, I have no choice, I have no right to cross the boundaries of Syadwad. And then naturally the best thing at times would come is you will keep quiet when you don't have any solution at hand, what to say, how to say, and otherwise you will be very nice in your verbal expression, and that will happen. So situations come as a testing ground for us, and we must always invite that. Don't try to run away. Yes, in the beginning, in the initial stage, when you feel that you're not very strong, you're not very sure, then that is a good way to escape. But then finally, our resolve, because Dada is there with us 24/7, that divine light of your soul, that vigilance is always there. What we need is to focus that light on our speech so that we get to know what is being spoken outside and what is going on inside. And we have a wonderful opportunity to correct ourselves. And we should not miss that opportunity and rigorously, sincerely correct ourselves. Jai Sachidanand.
Yes, Chairman.
Very good, Kavisha. Thank you. Anybody else wants to share?
I can share.
Okay,
You can
Pooja.
see me. Maybe not necessarily exact, just broad things that touching on what Pulinanandji just asked in regards to what is actually kind of triggering, not being able to use that Mrudru Bhasa. So the things that I've discovered when my speech is misaligned is that when people continuously, when I have like repeated upman, then I get out of that boundary. When I'm with a group of people and people are making fun of each other and the person that's being made fun of doesn't quite appreciate it, for me to step in and say something without hurting the person that's making fun of them, without hurting that person's ego, is a boundary that I often sometimes cross. When certain people, this is one when I interact with people that are lying or they're acting in a deceitful way, then my speech is not Syadwad, because it just I hold like kind of like a prejudice against them because I know that they're lying, because I know the facts. So that's a situation. I also noted that sometimes with certain files, I tend not to speak up because I know I'm going to stay I'm going to get out of the boundaries. But then then it kind of goes into column 4 then, because then now it's turned into like a irritation or kind of like about tiraskar a little bit. So then that happens automatically, but then I have to turn back around and bring that back into Gnan. And then my last one would be, when I know that situations are coming and I know I'm going to be tested, like Deepakanandji was saying, and still I try to prepare myself, whatever it is mentally, like, okay, these files are coming, these are the ones that always test you, and still I fall out of the boundaries. Those are kind of things that I've observed in the last week.
Deepakanandji?
Yeah, the first thing is we have to learn to accept other person, whether they are family people, they are outsiders, job people, or distant nearby relations. That science with Dada has revealed about Vyavasthit, that is what everyone is doing, is not out of their own capacity, but because in that situation, I'm getting affected. So there is that connectivity, and I must focus on that. So first, when that acceptance comes, then other things probably falls in its place. And yes, these are there, but again, this opportunity what we get, we have chance to analyze ourselves that whatever it is, there is always a better way to deal with any situation. And many times our intellectual force is so powerful that we conveniently ignore the cautions of our pragnashakti, vigilance of our pragnashakti, and even our resolution. But again, if I kept the doors open, then only things will come in. What it means, I have not thoroughly resolved myself that yes, come what may, I will never cross the boundaries of Syadwad. When that happens, then irrespective of what is the situation, that door always remains shut. But since it pops out, it leaks out, so it says, it shows that there is some factor of leniency in our resolution. That yes, you have said it's some conditions are there. That if these conditions are there, it's fine. I will take care. But if it is not, then I will place the other person, show his place where or her place where they stand. But then this is where the factor of Syadwad is broken, and we fail in our interaction, because this is a wonderful exam of our life, and it's a great testing place. And every time we come across, we get an opportunity to observe ourselves, because we feel we know ourselves better, but no, there's so many factors which are playing behind the curtain, and we are not even aware of that. But our outside, that is the outside drama part, becomes evident that there is something seriously wrong behind the curtain. That is what our beliefs part is working, and very strongly and powerfully working, which is making us cross the boundaries of Syadwad. So this is how we can analyze ourselves and correct ourselves. And this really helped me, whether I'm dealing with Aptaputra in their presence or even in their absence. Because in somebody's absence, I feel that I have right to cross any boundaries. Because who is going to listen? No. Our smallest feeling reaches the other person, even if that person is 10,000 miles away, even if that person has passed away, because he has not got liberated. So with this understanding, I really become very vigilant, and strongly I correct myself and resolve what may, you have no right to cross this boundary, and that boundary is of Dada Bhagwan. So you want to step out of his boundary? So no, sorry, no. So I give up, I drop all my weapons, and that really works very well. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Yes,
Satchidanand. Pulinanandji?
No, very nice, very nice. Your observations were very good. I liked it, Pooja, that for fifth Kalam, when you shut your mouth, this thing starts working, the mind starts working, and then goes into fourth Kalam, and then you start applying Gnan over there. And that's true. Now, I just wanted to ask, you sometimes said that you break the boundaries when you know someone is lying or playing deceit. What happens at that time?
then for whatever reason you might speak politely, but the weightage behind your words is not, it has like a negative vibration towards it, even though you might be saying something very nice. It's deceitful still, like
No,
so
and
hard to explain.
then I think what you're trying to say is that someone is playing deceit, so you're being
Yeah.
polite. So in a way, you are also being deceitful, na? That you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is deceit against deceit.
Yeah, yeah,
It is deceit against deceit, na?
yeah. Because it's exactly you
You,
have
you don't
negative,
want to
negative.
you want to hurt the person, but you're not hurting the person.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. It's a nice discovery sort of Prakriti. So it's nice. Most of the things you said. Basically, one of the points that came across was that you have to accept as Deepakanand said, was you have to accept the other person as not an independent doer. So perhaps that could help us rein in. And as you said, if nothing else, was firm resolution that I don't have to cross the boundary. And then irrespective whether you find the cause or not, break to lag jayegi. And as you said, drop all the weapons. So that is one way of just hammering it down.
Mhm.
One way is trying to eliminate the internal triggers which is causing the fifth column to break. So that's true. That's true. That's nice. Yeah, nothing much to add. That's right.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. And at times, like what my mom used to do, it's like she'll put her hand into the on the door and say, if you want to close it now, you can shut it. It will break my fingers. Something like that. So it's like Dada says, here I am. This is my boundary. I'm standing here. If you want to cross my boundary, you can go ahead. And our intellect, all faculties, they just surrender. They say, sorry, Dada, I am very sorry. Otherwise, I feel there is no reason for us, for our turning around, turning back. It's very difficult because the intellect is so powerful and sharp. It has all the reasons to protect our mistake, to see the other person at fault, and somehow make us cross that boundary. So this feeling somehow that Dada is always there. This is my boundary. If you want to cross, you may cross. He said, no, sorry, Dada. So it's very difficult. Like how Dada has said, I have dropped all my weapons. And I had been using all those weapons thinking that that was my strength. But ultimately, I found that that was my utter weakness. And this feeling of oneness and how he has become compassionate for all, irrespective of who that person, who the living being is, his compassion is unconditional towards every living being for their welfare. And that is fantastic. Jai Satchidanand.
Yes, it's done.
Hey, Sachidan, thank you. Go ahead, Pooja.
I was just going to add, and this type of engagement between files is very specific to only a few files. Deceit to deceit is only with a handful of people, and it's not with everybody, right? So where over there, the Gnan doesn't come right away. It will travel through all of these columns first. It may go to 4, it may go to 1, and then hopefully it goes into Tap. But it doesn't happen like I would want it to just go directly into Tap and just relax puja. This is all in the boundaries of, happening in the boundaries of Vyavasthit, and do Sambhavnika, but it doesn't happen like that. Even though I know it.
Then exactly, this is exactly what is going to happen. This is exactly what we know everything, but it is not being implemented because there are blockers. As you said, deceit is one of them, Although you may be doing this deceit against deceit with a handful of people, but that kashai of deceit is still there in ourselves. No? It is deep down, still lying. Unless that gets totally erased, you will not be able to reach total awareness or total Syadwad. So that is one of the culprits which you have happened to find out in the process of practicing these now columns. It's a journey into self-awareness, journey into awareness of the Prakriti, discharge Prakriti. Said, yes, deceit is one of the kashais which I have going to identify. You have been able to identify. Essentially, there are only 4. pride, krodh, man, anger, deceit,
Right.
and greed. So all of us have to discover our inner enemies.
Mhm.
So those at the Kashai level, that those are the enemies. Then at the Antaskaran level, our ego and intellect is a prime enemy. Prime enemy I found, because that is what tells this is right and this is wrong. And when something is wrong according to my viewpoint, then this blow up takes place.
Mhm.
And as you said, mirror speech is a mirror of our inner thinking. So if my inner thinking is in a XYZ manner, then speech will be in an XZ manner. If I feel no, I don't want to hurt anyone, speech will be like that. If I want to say I will see, I will retaliate, I will retaliate.
Mhm.
So if we watch our speech, it will throw a light on what is going on inside us. Speech is a mirror of the inner ego, as Dada Bhagwan said. Vani e ahankar no ughado odushi. It's an open manifestation of the speech is the open manifestation of our inner ego. So that will help us in discovering, as you said, our what beliefs we have brought, what opinions we carry, what our intellect says. And intellect is such a dangerous thing that it will override the prajna. Okay, so it's good you have discovered one culprit. All of us discover our own inner culprits.
And once you,
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, once you discover it, then you just keep observing it. Then that's your next step with it.
Observing is there, but also countering it. Countering it in the sense you withdraw and say, no, this is wrong. The deceit that is playing out within me is
Mhm.
wrong. It should not happen. A brief
Mhm.
pratikraman or a reverse opinion, this is wrong and I disagree, and I give me the strength that may I not do this again.
Mhm.
Basically, pulling away from the discharge part. I'm not in agreement with what is happening within me today as part of discharge.
Mhm.
So countering that will help in clearing that deceit faster. If I brought 10,000 layers of deceit, the more I start saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, I'm not with it. It'll pop up, I say I'm not with it. It'll pop up, I'm not with it. Whenever it pops up, the deceit part.
Mhm.
So one by one, the layers of that will get reduced. Ultimately, become near to zero, if not zero, near to zero. That would be the next level. Not only for deceit, for all the shortcomings.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Puja, just imagine you have a very important meeting next day or next week, and it's a very crucial meeting. It's very important for you to present yourself correctly, precisely, and you don't miss any point. What would be the level of your homework? It will be quite elaborate, quite intensive, quite extensive, and
Mhm.
you want to ensure that you are not missing any point. Correct?
Mhm. Mhm. Correct.
Now imagine, are we doing this kind of homework with those few files that irritate us every other time? I feel we're not doing that. Sincerely, we are not taking that matter seriously, and that's why things keep happening again and again. And the end result is we fail to perform. We don't want to leave our strong opinion, strong belief about that person. And that's why we are not able to accept. The reason is we are not able to see. That is, we are not able to perceive our mistake. That is Puja's mistake. And it is our duty to show Puja her mistake, which what does Lord Mahavira in his while he was uh, meditating, and that cowman came and all that episode we know, and he was pierced in his ears.
Mhm.
So he watched Vardhaman Swami, that why this this thing happened. And he could see when this mistake was committed and why it has happened now, and how that person is merely an instrument to repay my debt. What Dada has so nicely said, that what was given from this vyavhar gets returned, you get it back. What was given, you get it back. So we are not able to see that. So we feel the other person is deceiving and that is the other person's fault. No, the causes are here inside. That's why that instrument is working. And in fact, that person has come to relieve you, to free you from that mistake or that shortcoming. So gladly accept them and take it positively. And at the end, what suffering Pooja has to pass through, you will be with her and she will very nicely pass that suffering happily without getting hurt. So you will remain in your bliss, and because of your being with Pooja, she will experience the bliss even in the presence of that kind of suffering. You understand? Like my Bhagwan, the Vardhaman Swami was piercing in ears. Just imagine if we just cross little this thing in our ears, it is so much irritating. Just recklessly, we can say. But the way what he could see that what was committed in the past, against that this is nothing. Because that person died and I'm still awake, I'm still alive, and with this pain and suffering. But this is not my pain or my suffering. So that association what Dada has given us with our relative self, body self, that is our neighbor, is so much soothing. Because there is no other God. Where is the other God? Where is the God? No. You are the God to be with your relative self, to pacify her, to pacify, to console her, that I am there with you. And that's what, like how your children, when they see their parents are with me, they say we don't care. Or when they are alone, they feel lost. So that's how we be compassionately with our body self or relative self. And that is the greatest consolation and finality of surpassing that karma effect, freeing ourselves from that karma. Jai Sachidananda.
This is very lovely.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand. Anybody else? Okay, Shailaben.
Jai Sachidanand, Pulinanandji, Jai Sachidanand Deepakanandji, Jai Sachidanand.
Jana.
The way I've been trying to practice this Kalam this week is I noticed that whenever someone is saying something harsh, the instinct is obviously, like the ego is hurt. And at that point, I try to immediately keep quiet, just like Kaushal mentioned, keep quiet and then do not react at that moment. That just that spur of the moment, just when you stop that, then immediately the judgment comes and then I'm able to analyze and see why am I reacting to this? What is it Pulinanandji said, trying to analyze why am I even reacting to this? And what is it about the file number 1? Then, so that helps me, I noticed, because at that moment, just I take a couple of minutes and I might even like say chant, or even I just to Dada Bhagwan, and or even say something. Sometimes I say I'm Shuddhatma, and a couple of times I keep reminding myself. So that has actually worked, I feel, because just that the first instinct to retaliate and react, if I can stop that, then I feel then I'm quieter, and then the chatter in the mind also decreases after like a couple of minutes. So I'm trying to practice that. But that's the first part, like when someone's saying something harsh. But the second one, where someone is talking about someone else, I have also been in that situation where someone is complaining about something or saying something bad about another person or criticizing someone. in those kind of circumstances, it happened a couple of times this week, and the only thing I could was just be quiet and pray, and then try to get off the conversation as quickly as possible, or do not support or get into that conversation. So I don't know if this is how I should be practicing it, because the second one I thought is more challenging, because the second one, it's not in this thing. Someone else is doing it. So I'm just wondering, because we're often in that situation where they are criticizing in a group, and it's all the real relatives and the close ones, and you're not actually supporting, but you're being polite by staying there in that negative atmosphere, environment. So how do you is it okay to just stay quiet? Because previously I might have said something, but now I just do not participate. I just get out of that conversation. That's all.
It's perfect. You see, basically, this goes in the domain of column number 8, which you have been practicing or trying to understand. That is typically when women are together, they tend to gossip about the absent person, criticize the absent person, and it becomes a challenge what to do. So as you said, basically the Purusharth in such situations would be just to say within, hey Dada Bhagwan, give me the supreme strength, not to criticize, nor support anyone criticizing, or not instigating anyone to criticize. That's just that inner belief, the inner strength. If you start asking for that strength, obviously you will not be a participant to that, number one. So you'll be silent. And by saying this within, what will happen, it will also have a reaction on the people around you. In the sense, sometimes what happens is person A is criticizing person B. You are silent because it's not right. But you cannot tell them you're wrong. You can tell the other person wrong because you have not hurt the other person also. So you're silent. And in such situations, at times, it does happen that the person who is criticizing will ask you, now you tell me, what is your opinion? What do you feel about it? It sort of instigate you to get into that criticism mode.
Yeah.
So the challenge happens afterwards. For this thing not to happen, for this other person not to instigate you, if you start saying this Kalam, give me the supreme strength not to criticize, support, or instigate anyone, na karai na karavai karta pratyena anumodai, then what will happen is it will have an effect on the other person, and most likely he will not instigate. Or even if he or she instigates, and you say, I don't know, or some little oblique answers, it will just fall flat. You will not be forced to get drawn into the conversation. So the answer to your challenge is what to do at that point of time. One is perfect, you are silent, so you're not participating or supporting the other person. And in case there's an instigation, if you say this, that your vigilance remains, that I don't have to criticize nor support the criticism. And this inner asking of strength, the inner vibrations will reach the other person, and he will also not allow you to get, or not pull you into the conversation. So that is also required. And gradually, over a period of time, when for example, that I'm going in a group and this is likely to happen. So at home, before going to the group, you just ask for this strength. During the conversation, ask for it. Then a situation will arise where people will just leave you also, not draw you into the conversation. It gradually will happen, because as you form up your resolution of today, that I don't want to criticize, that will be supporting in actions later on when you are in a group of people. It will happen. You see, it's like a reaction. Why is it that I've got this group? Because previous birth I liked it. I said it's not criticizing. Basically, what happens is when you criticize someone, you put him down and raise yourself. I am superior to the other person. The whole idea is how you derive happiness from criticism. I am superior, he or she is inferior. That's the whole motive is of putting down the person and raising ourselves. That is the, and we had decided in our previous work, this is good, this is nice, you enjoy it. It's a source of happiness. That is what was charged. Hence, you have got this effect where you are in a group of company where this is going to trigger. Based on today's knowledge, we decide that this is not right. And hence, we have to reinforce this column of 8th column or whatever, not to criticize. So that would be the answer. That's it. Okay.
Deepakanandji?
The way you have said, and as Dada had said, the very first Aptaputra, I am pure soul, is master key to every problem. So if that remains very well focused and you remain as pure soul, then other things will definitely fall in its place. On the other hand, when others are talking like that, then what is our lookout, or what should be our lookout? Because you are responsible primarily for Celia, what she is doing, what her body self is doing. But at the same time, on a far-sighted vision, even in your presence, others should not commit any mistake. But because you are there and you are in a way party to listen to that garbage, we can say, that wrong thing, you have to do that pratikrama. And nicely put up yourself, you can say that we're all friends, we all meet together. What is the purpose of? Because see, if we are talking anything negative about that person in his or her absence, that person will also talk about the same thing about us in our absence. This is what I learned from my guru, my mentor, or my God, or my religion, that what you give, you get. So why should we give all this stuff? We're going to get it back. So you are playing your part correctly. You're not telling them directly, but like, this is what you have learned and this we should not be doing. Not telling them you should not be doing. I wouldn't do that way because this is what I have learned. Because there's so many other good things. Because everyone, there are so many good things in them. Few bad things, and we get driven away by those bad things. And we keep talking about that. So we assert ourselves the positivity, and that's how I believe positivity will spread. And next time, because it has so much of meaning and backing with right understanding, they will always appreciate what you say. So they say, okay, Sheila, what do you want to say in this situation? They will say, this is what I learned. And it will really help you first and others also, right? So this is how we learn and we teach others, by remaining clear and firm on what we have understood, and we want to live that principle. Jai Sachidan.
Jai Sachidan. Thank you.
Hey, Sachidan. Okay, our time is up. So we'll continue with column number 5, right? Pulinanandji Deepakanandji?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I have consolidated some aspect of Syadwad, what Dada Bhagwan has said. It is in Gujarati, but I'll try to do it in Hindi first. It is very elaborate. So then we can share that thing also in case anyone needs any clarification. I'll put in the in this group. Jai Sachidan.
And until you do that Hindi stuff, I request you can put the Gujarati also, no? Those
Immediately I'll put the Gujarati stuff immediately, right away, after this meeting itself.
Okay.
It's very good. I mean, long, hard, no, I'll not say hard book. I kept on collecting things, and eventually it has become a document. So it's good. I'll share it right away. Jai Sachidan.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay. Deepakanandji, do Three Mantra. Sheila, please follow.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Harihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vatsayanam.
Namo Loe Savvasahunam.
Namo Lohe Savvasahanam.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Savvabhava Pranasano.
Sarvapavapanasana.
Mangalanam cha Savvesim.
Mangalanam cha Sarvesam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Have Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand,
Satchidanand.
everybody.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand,
Satchidanand, Pulinanandji Deepakanandji
Pulinanandji
Mahatma, Jai
Rajni Uncle, Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand, Pulinanandji, Jai Satchidanand,
Jai Satchidanand
Deepakanandji,
Puja.
Jai
Jai Dr.
Satchidanand.
Krishna and Rani. Jai
Satchidanand.
Kaushal Bhai. Jai Satchidanand. Arunabha. Jai Satchidanand. Chalya.
Jai
Ji.
Satchidanand.
Jai
Dada
Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.